Death ship, the crash you can't escape. Picture it. The year is 1997. The space cruiser E-89 hovers above the 13th planet of Star System 51. 3 men aboard: Captain Ross, Lieutenant Mason, and Lieutenant Carter. Their mission is to explore, to evaluate, and to stamp another planet inhabitable. But what they truly encounter is themselves. Not a new world, but their own death. Mason sees a metallic glint on the surface below. He interprets it as possibility. Ross dismisses it as a lake. Already the split is visible. Mason leans into wonder. Ross clings to denial. The course says, beware the temptation to perceive yourself unfairly treated. Chapter 26, Section 10. Ross perceives every mystery as a threat. They land. Before them lies a wreck identical to their own. Hull cracked, fins bent, glass shattered. Inside, their own lifeless faces. Carter trembles. He whispers, "That was us in there, we're dead." Ross refuses. He insists there must be a logical explanation. This is the ego's refrain. Explain, never accept. Ross invents his first theory. They have bent time. They have glimpsed only the probable future. If they never take off, they never crash. Mason and Carter resist. They remind him the ship will freeze at night. They remind him that survival requires heat. Ross pulls rank. He chooses command over truth. Carter slips into a vision, a familiar road, familiar voices. He runs to his house. Inside he finds only a telegram. It announces his death. He realizes those he saw are already gone. Ross calls it delusion. Mason vanishes next. He sees his wife and daughter. He longs to remain with them. Ross drags him back. Mason erupts in rage. From his pocket, Ross pulls a clipping of their deaths. Ross shifts his theory again. Not time, not death. Aliens. Telepathic illusions. He insists they lift off to break free. They obey. But when they return, the wreck is still there. The loop reveals itself. Mason begins to see. Carter begins to see. They realize they are already dead. Their visions were true. Their present is the illusion. They plead with Ross. They beg him to let go. To let them go home. To let them die. Ross refuses. He insists on another explanation. He declares they will go over it again and again. This is the ego's curse. The course says death is the central dream from which all illusions stem. Workbook Lesson 163. Ross cannot hear it. He cannot surrender control. And so the cycle repeats. The glint shines again. The wreck waits again. The truth calls again. But Ross will not see what he does not choose to see. He becomes the captain of denial, a Flying Dutchman in space, a man whose will imprisons him. Not lost in the stars, lost in his own refusal. The planet itself becomes a mirror of mind. Number 13. A number tied to endings. A planet that reveals not life but death. Even the cold blue dwarf star above mocks them. It casts long shadows across the wreckage. The light is real, but the world it lights is not. The course says, "You are the light of the world." Workbook Lesson 61. But Ross insists the light is external, and so he condemns himself to shadows. This is the metaphysical weight of the death ship. It is not science fiction. It is the ego's fiction. Not about colonizing space, but about colonizing fear. Not about alien planets, but about the refusal to wake. Picture of a man who will not see what he does not choose to see. A captain so determined to explain that he cannot accept. A man of such indomitable will that he drags his crew through eternity. Each word repeated, each step retraced, each discovery made countless times before, and made countless times again. perhaps even unto eternity. 3 men sailing not through galaxies, but through denial. 3 men who discovered the wreck of their own making. 3 men who became the wreck itself. Space cruiser E-89. Lost in orbit, lost in repetition, lost in the illusion of time. And so the cycle continues. A captain who cannot surrender. 2 men who cannot escape him. A ship that cannot land and cannot depart. A mirror that cannot be shattered. For the only crack is in perception itself. This is not the frontier of space. This is the frontier of mind. A place where the ego refuses to die. And where truth waits quietly beyond command. The death ship. Forever adrift. Forever repeating. Forever lost in the Twilight Zone.